Hi YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps and happy fall again. Yes, I'm saying happy fall again because it feels like fall in my neck of the woods. We are 79 degrees today. Can you believe that? Actually, the last month we have been blessed with beautiful weather, unlike the last several years. I I'm used to the four seasons, and like many in your area, the weather is drastically changing. It's like summer is longer, fall is shorter, winter is shorter, even spring is shorter, and summer is just monopolizing the seasons because this time last year, well, it was hot. It was hot throughout October and it was hot throughout November. And for many of you who follow my channel and you saw me last year, you know I did a lot of murmuring and complaining about fall not coming. Well, it finally feels like fall in my neck of the woods, and I am super excited about that. Now, speaking of fall, what you're looking at is some fall creations, but many of you may have seen these cute Halloween cupcakes featured in a video I did over a year ago. And I'm going to have the link to that video. In that video, I did a comparison of the neon Amplify with the liquid applique. And I showed these cute cupcakes, but I never showed you guys how I made these cupcakes. I have been doing extensive molding and casting the last couple years. And last year, I was molded out, but I didn't share any of the videos that I had planned on sharing. You guys, I have some super cool techniques, things that you probably never thought about using to create molds from or cast in. I am going to finally share those techniques with you guys. So right here, you are looking at these Decadent cupcakes. And do you know what I made these from? Let me show you what I used to make these cupcakes. Something that many of you bakers have in your kitchen. I used cookie cutters. Uh-huh. And they are so adorable. Now, I introduced Decadent to many of you. Decadent is a Japanese form of art, decorating cell phones, but you can decorate anything. I came into that form of art. I like stumbled upon it. I saw a video last year or the year before, had never seen it before, and then I took the art of Decadent and I made my sweet treat bottle caps. Uh-huh. But I used cookie cutters, you guys, to not only make these, but let me show you the cutest ever gingerbread people. I had so much fun making these. I don't know if I'm going to do a tree this year. I didn't do one last year, but this might just motivate me to decorate my tree this year. I'm going to show you the basic gingerbread ornament first, and every one I show you after, it's going to be a little bit more added to it. But isn't he the cutest? Take a look at him. Look at those goo goo eyes. He looks really good and a good size. And with these gingerbread ornaments, I use this cookie cutter here. By the way, you can get these at Michael's, Joann's, and they're really inexpensive. And this is how the back looks. He is super duper cute. The eyes make noise. Probably can't hear it. Okay, the next one. Check out this one. Same gingerbread man. He just has on clothes. Uh-huh. He's super cute. He's a chef. Can you tell? He's baking up gingerbread cookies. He is super cute. I absolutely love him. Now, check out this one. He looks different. Nonetheless, he's still a gingerbread man. Isn't he adorable? Love it, love it, love it. You know, looking at these gingerbread people and actually making it really makes me excited about decorating a tree. Last year, I didn't do any decorations, only in my craft room. But throughout my house, no, I just didn't feel like it. This year, I might just, I might do a tree. You can notice all of my gingerbread people, they have something in common. They're all guys. I kept trying to make a girl gingerbread person. Like for this one, I added the sequin eyes because they're flower shaped just to make this one into a girl. Even added sequins here and glitter there. But no, he's still a boy. This one I added the clothes thinking, okay, it can be a girl with the clothes, but no, he still looked boyish. And so my next attempt to make a girl gingerbread person was I thought, okay, let me use my favorite trim ever, this eyelash trim in purple. But no, this is still a guy, right? He's a guy. I even added the gem crystal eyes, but nope, he's a guy. Sequins right there, nope, he's a guy. And so I'm going to show you guys my girl gingerbread that I came up with. And don't laugh, or don't laugh too loud, okay? Because I needed to have a girl in the mix. All these are just adorable, but I needed a girl. So are you guys ready? Okay, here she is. Yep, there's her hair in the wind, her sequined flower-shaped eyes and nose, and her clothes. So this is what I came up with for a girl gingerbread. But check this out. When you flip her top up, it says Merry Christmas. I didn't know what else to do. I went online. I looked at images of girl faces. I don't know how to draw, so I couldn't draw in a face. I tried to make eyelashes. I'm still going to work at giving her eyelashes, but this is what I came up with for now. And you know what? Yeah, in her own right, she is absolutely adorable. So yeah, she steals the show. But I showed you guys these Decadent cupcakes, right? Well, in part 2 of this video, I am going to show you how you can make this Decadent Gingerbread Man. Now you might be wondering or saying to yourself, he looks more like the Cookie Monster. Because that's what I thought when I saw him. But he's my Decadent Gingerbread Man, and he's cute. He's made with the faux icing. And in part 2, I'm going to show you how you can make your faux icing and how you can make something like this. Before I forget, let me invite you guys to my gingerbread party. I don't have a date yet, but I am having a gingerbread party to share all things gingerbread. I'll be sharing more gingerbread ornaments and other types of ornaments as well. I'll be sharing my gingerbread die collection, my gingerbread stamp collection, and I'm going to attempt to make Gingerbread Lane, right? It's going to be super duper fun. And I have to admit something. I've been thinking all day about this. People, I don't think I've ever had a gingerbread cookie. Yikes, right? Right? I am so serious. I was thinking today, wow, have I ever tasted a gingerbread cookie? I know I have never made any, but I will have some at my gingerbread party. But yeah, you guys can share that moment with me when I bite into my first ever gingerbread cookie. Now, if I had one before, it's been a long time. So even if I did eat one before, it's going to be a new experience for me. All right, you guys, the great thing about using cookie cutters, they're inexpensive and they're readily available. I have spent, I don't know how much money buying molds back in the day. Had I known that I could use cookie cutters, you can pay 50 cents for a cookie cutter. You can buy them in the packages and the bundles. They are super duper cheap and you can buy them any and everywhere. Even some grocery stores, they sell the cookie cutters. I got these last year from Tuesday Morning. 3 for $1. These I think I got from Walmart. I don't know, or it could have been Joann's or Michael's, but Hobby Lobby have them. Use your coupon and save even more money. You cannot beat the price, and they come in, oh my goodness, so many different styles and varieties. Now what you're looking at here, these are the silicone. The silicone do work the best. They're reusable. Now I did, once again, extensive molding. I don't know how many pounds of resin I use and how much silicone I used to make my own molds last year. And I have found that you can use the metal, but you have to lubricate every square inch of the cookie cutter. You can use like a spray oil. You can use olive oil, baby oil, but you want to make sure you coat inside and outside your entire cookie cutter, because if you don't, you will end up with something like this. Now this ended up being a happy accident. This is a metal cookie cutter in the shape of a candy corn. I did not lubricate this one and the resin got stuck in it. And I did this one last year. But it's pretty cool, right? Because now I have a tray that can hold things. So if you wanted to, you could take a metal cookie cutter. This is a pumpkin here, not coated with anything, and make a tray. Now, how cool is that? You can choose any design for any season and always have little trays for your trinkets and small items. So that was a happy accident. But in this tutorial, I am going to be working with the silicone. These are reusable over and over and over again. And you know what? You might have some of these in your kitchen you're not using. These, by the way, are the Halloween ones. I have yet to use these. So in this video, we are going to make, nonetheless, a gingerbread man. And I have decided, you know what? I think I just want to make a basic one, perhaps him, just to show you the ins and the outs. And you can decorate him any way you choose. Whenever you work with resin, take the time and protect your hands by wearing gloves. I can't tell you the number of times I got lazy, did not put on gloves. Like the other night, I didn't wear gloves and I had to use WD-40 to take this stuff off my hands. So avoid all of that. Put on cheap food grade gloves. You can buy them 500 pairs for just several dollars at Sam's Club. It is so worth it. Now, I like to use the 1-ounce medicine cups, and I am pouring 2 teaspoons of both parts in 2 medicine cups. So right there you see me pouring what's in the yellow container. I forget if that's part A or part B, but I have 2 teaspoons of that in 1 medicine cup. And then I'm going to pour 2 teaspoons of the blue one in another medicine cup. Take a baby wipe, wipe down your container. You do want to protect your work surface. So you see I'm working on top of a paper towel, but you could use a craft mat. Now, I love this particular product here. It's Pearl X, and I'm using the larger container, but Michael still might have the smaller containers of the Pearl X. And I'm also using Recollections milk paint. Yeah, I don't think they carry that any longer, but both of these products will give you nice colors with your resin. So I had an unnecessary step there, but you want to add your colorant to part B and mix it well together. Mix it by itself. And then when you're ready to add part A, you just pour your part A into your part B and you're going to mix it. This stuff warms up really quick. So when you feel it getting warm, that's when you're going to pour it into your mold. Now let me share a tip with you guys here. I am using the liner from my Oriental magnet sheets. But if you have the Xyron machine, keep those liners that comes off the adhesive because they're perfect for molding. Those type of liners, they work just like a craft mat. So you see here, I'm stirring my resin. It's warming up really quick. As soon as I feel the warmth, I'm going to pour it inside of my cookie cutter. And you also want to make sure your liner is clean because the resin is going to pick up all of it. So you stir, and then you pour. You could see it's really fluid. And take something heavy and set it on top. And in about 10 minutes, you can come back and demold. So here, it's been about 11 minutes, and I'm going to pick up my cookie cutter, look at the back, and then peel off the sides. It comes off really easy, and even if you let this sit in overnight, you will still be able to peel off the sides, and you see how easy I'm able to take the piece out. Now on the back, you see that little spot on the back? That spot was made from my table. Whatever you cast on, the resin will pick up the texture of that, whether it be a craft mat. So pay attention to that. Now here I'm using my neon Amplify to create my icing, doing the feet and the legs. And then I'm going to use my heat gun to puff it up. And I learned something by using the heat gun that's very interesting. I had never considered this before. But the heat is going to cause the resin piece to become pliable, to become really flexible. And that's cool to know because I thought once it gets hard, it's hard. But no, you can actually go in and bend it and shape it. And so I don't know how I'm going to use that revelation, but I'm sure I'll find a cool way to use the heat and create some cool resin pieces. So I am just adding more and more heat because I really want a puffy look for the icing. Now you don't have to use this particular medium. You can use an assortment of different mediums to make your icing. But I have it on hand and it's a cool technique for this ornament here. And you see here, I'm bending him and he's a little warm too. That's so cool. Here I'm using diamond glaze to adhere his eyes. And I realized I didn't put my top back on it. You want to always put your top back on your container so the little area won't clog up. So I need to declog it. And this dries fairly quick, so I like to use it, and it does provide a nice strong bond. And I'm going to use my little tweezers, but I'm actually using the wrong tweezers. I have another set that's square. I'm having a real hard time trying to pick up this little flat back pearl. So I think I might end up just using my hand. Yeah, it's a game right now. So I finally got it. That one was a little bit easier. What I like about using this glue too versus hot glue, you get some drying time. And so you can go in, I'm going to pick up a micro brush and clean up some of the glue, but you got some time to position his eyes the exact place you want them. And I do recommend you do his eyes before you do his mouth, because once you get his eyes down, at least for me, it was easier making his mouth when I already had his eyes down. On one of my gingerbread men, I did the mouth first, and then I did the eyes, and it was off-centered. So whatever works for you. I'm adding a little bit more glue for the nose, and I don't think I have any noses for any of my other gingerbread men. And so he looks so cute. I added a sequin nose, but I think this one is face up. And he looks cute, kind of like a little bear. He's adorable, adorable, adorable. And I'm going to take that micro brush and move his nose around and make sure I have the placement of his nose and eyes just the way I like before it sets. But sometimes you can move too much, like I'm doing right now. Now, this is the first time I've using my crystal drops for a gingerbread man. I wanted to see how it works. And I do like this stuff so far. I have not used it to make any pearls, but I have been playing around with it and I like it. So I think I may have added too much because the crystal drops, it's fluid and it comes out freely. I'm using a pen just to smooth out his mouth because I don't want one side wider than the other. So you can use a pen or a needle for that. Clean it off. I'm not sure how long it takes this stuff to dry. I'm not even sure how it will dry, if it's going to be raised or if it'll flatten out, but we'll see. So now I need to add him something to make like a vest, and I'm going to be using what looks like, well, actually here I need to add his cheeks, right? Forgot about that. So yep, I'm using these tweezers, and it's hard to pick up these little bitty gems. I really need to find my square tweezers. So I have resorted to using my hands and then my micro brush to place it on top of the glue there. And I'll do the other side. Sometimes the best tools are the hands. Once again, with this glue, I got some drying time so I can play around and make sure I have perfect placement of the gems. Put it exactly where I want it, and then I'll use that same glue to add beads to make his vest. And then I'll add a bow and I'll be done. Really simple to make. There's nothing like homemade. I had such pleasure making these little guys. Just imagine pulling it out of the Christmas chest 20 years from now. And I could say, I made that. Or how about you pass it on to your children and they become heirlooms. Yeah, these were really fun to make. And cookie cutters, they come in all different types of shapes. Oh my goodness, you will never be without the shape that you need. Wow, so fun. I love it. I need to figure out what I can put inside the center of those beads. But this little joker, he's finished. He's adorable. Well, after I place the bow down. Oh, he's so cute. I got that bow from Tuesday Morning. Every now and again, they'll get in fabric bows already made. And oh, he's super cute. Look at him. He's cute. I might give him some hair. Guys, I am done. This little guy, he is still drying. His face is drying, but this is how he looks. He's adorable. I like how all of my gingerbread men, they look different to me. I'm going to add some buttons or beads right here. I'm not too sure yet. So I'm going to set him down because he is still drying. I want to talk a minute about the other ones, what's different, excuse me, and what's the same. For my icing here, I use the same medium, which is this Neon Amplify, which is very similar to liquid applique, except I like the Neon Amplify better. It's more fluid, you get more, it's cheaper. You see the containers. Yeah, and this stuff, I've had this one for a year and it still works, but it can be hard to come out. You got to really squeeze it. This stuff, it flows right out. And I like the more you heat emboss it, the more puffier it gets. For the faces, I used a variety of different things. You see here the flat back pearls for his eyes, the Google eyes here. I used the flower sequins. You could use them face up or face down. You could use a combination for the face. Ooh, I used puffy paint. Let me go back. Puffy paint was used on my little girl, on her feet here and her hands, but you can see I touched it. So you could use puffy paint. For this last one I made, I used the crystal drops. So you can use that. Not too sure how it's going to dry because it's still wet. But you could also use the liquid fill by Martha Stewart. I got a lot of this stuff from Tuesday Morning in all kind of colors. And I used the liquid fill on this little guy here, his feet and his legs. And you could see it looks different. It gives a different texture and a different look. So that's available, and this was $1. And you know what, Tuesday Morning, they might still have this because they had a lot of it in. You could also use this texture gem that you could pick up at Michael's, 3 in a pack. I used this one on this little guy's face here, and on his face here. This purple, what was this? Wow, what did I use here? I don't see it, but obviously, maybe this was the crystal drops as well. I don't know. But yeah, it comes in different colors, so maybe that's what I use. I don't see it here. I use Stickles to give little blush, and Stickles comes in a lot of colors, so you can really have fun with that. And what else? I think I used another medium. So you can use whatever you have in your stash to create these cute ornaments. Now, I have to say, anything handmade is priceless, right? These are perfect for gifts. Wrap it up real nice. How about you send it with an actual gingerbread recipe or gingerbread cookies? I want to have my tree decorated with handmade, homemade, with icons that truly represent Christmas. And I'm just going to have so much fun pulling these out year by year and adorning my tree with these. Now, I added the bells to the back of some of these. Of course, you can use ribbon and trims to hot glue on the back. I'm not too sure how I want to hang these, but I definitely do like the bells. And you get a nice size hole so you can fit something thick through there. Now, to dress this little guy, I used the die set from a Stampendous stamp die set called Gingerbread Baker, and the clothes fit this little guy just perfect. Now, I don't know, I don't remember where I got this cookie cutter from. It may have been Amazon, and if it was, I'll put the link in the description box because this die set fits this cookie cutter perfect. I did have to snip off a little bit of this top area here, just a little bit. I could have left it too, but I did snip it off. But he is adorable, and if you look at his hat this way, you could see I have die cut out 2 hats for the front and the back, and this is actually felt. I have fabric on top of the felt for the clothes and for the hat. And for this little guy here, remember, I'm going to show you how to make him in part 2 of this video. I also die cut out 2 pieces of the hat, but I have a bead, a word bead in the center because this is felt and I didn't want it to stick together. And plus that bead in there, it gives it that, well, it gives it dimension as well. So I did that, and I just love how all of these turned out. So excited. I want to share with you guys my resin of choice. It's by a company called Smooth On. I introduced this company to many of you when I shared my Making Professional Molds video. That's been over a year, maybe 2 years now, I don't know. But I really do like this liquid plastic. Like many of you, I started off, and many of you still use amazing casting resin that you could pick up at Michael's. This stuff is great because it cures in 10 minutes. Well, this resin acts in the same way it also cures in 10 minutes. And what that basically means is after you pour your resin in your mold, you can demold it after 10 minutes, but you do have to still let it sit so it can get hard. Well, this liquid plastic acts in the same way. The difference is this stuff, well, amazing, when it cures white as snow. This liquid plastic, when it cures, it's a translucent soft color. I want to say a light amber. And what that basically means is you can achieve true colors with the liquid plastic. Amazing. You can color it. There are many different ways you can color it. But for me, it's just so much easier to color the liquid plastic because it's a translucent color versus trying to color something that's really just stark white. Now, you can't buy this at Michael's or Joann's. Actually, this stuff here is only available at Michael's. I'm not sure if Hobby Lobby has it, but I know Joann's don't carry it. None of my local stores have it, but Amazon has it. And I just purchased another one of these kits for like 21 bucks. And you get, I'll show you the bottles, but you get a lot in it. And it'll last you a very long time. So I love to use this stuff because it cures really fast. And you get, in my opinion, better colors. Now the downside to this, and that might be a deal breaker for some of you, well, this is a piece here, and I think I colored this one with some amber colorant. So this is not the color it'll cure to, but you see all those bubbles? Yeah, that's the downside. This stuff gives you a lot of bubbles, but because I add the colorants to mine, like all my gingerbread people, I use this resin here. You don't see any bubbles because the color that you add to it will mask the bubbles. But if you wanted to go for a lighter look, you might end up with the bubbles. So that might be a deal breaker. Nonetheless, it's still my favorite because I'm more interested in achieving the colors I want versus having something, a piece that's translucent.